Good afternoon, ladies, and good afternoon, gentlemen. When there is no danger. Ladies first when there is no. So in case of danger, the gentleman will go first. Emmanuel is my name. I came with a wonderful individual. The only person who knows my secrets. The only person who knows my fears. The only person who pushes my back and says, we can do it. The only person, when I come tired, said, have a seat, relax. Do not fear. God is in control. The only person I share a bed with. Since I got married, that is none other than the beautiful one. Is she around? Wow. Namanya Naomi is her name. And God has blessed us with twins and Daniel. That is Joseph, Abigail, and Daniel. Very wonderful children. When I gave birth to these, am I the one? I saw the ladies change their tones. When we gave birth, that is correct? Somehow. Now, ladies, who gives birth? It's only God. Hey, the ladies, I am telling you the first time my wife went for labor pains. I went for labor pains too. I was not breathing until I saw the first baby. And they said, there is another one. I said, you guys, are you selling babies here? Say, we had not known they were twins. And they're saying, relax, there is. I said, Nas, are you selling babies here? So no, it is yours. I said, what? That's when I settled down. So I gave birth. Now, I was talking to one of us and he said, do you work with Life Ministry? And I was short of answers. Should I say yes? Practically, I may be lying. Should I say no? Practically, that would not be the truth. That lady walking in and receiving attention is the one in green. When it comes to business, I don't work with Life Ministry. But when it comes to the spreading of the gospel, I do. And for the last 2 months, someone may think I was a staff. And some staff may not even like me because I pushed them. I said, we have to deliver. What I saw in Bali, you guys, stiff learning curve, stiff working curve, no sleeping. Staff, don't worry, we are still working together. Welcome to the working world. We get results. at all costs. The news, read by Emmanuel, brought to you by Ignite. It has been reported that there is an accident on Ginger Road when an overspeeding truck hit a minibus. All 14 passengers are reported to be in Murago under critical condition. We hope they are survivors. The long drought in Karamoja has left the place devastated. Especially children are begging for bread. And the long rains have left Bududa homeless. Mostly children and women are on the streets without a home. The recent enacted homosexuality bill, signed in Tulo by the president, has attracted mixed reactions around the world. Some for it, but especially some against it. And in retaliation, the prominent organization in Uganda is holding nyege to support their own, the homosexuals. Breaking news. One of us, a civil servant, has been shot dead. The civil servant was shot dead while going to work. He has left 38 children and 8 women. They are begging the government for bread. It is not far from us. Our own is asking his wife for divorce. He claims that his wife wants to take church land and has been suffering from a chronic disease which has left her incapable of performing her marital duties. They are in court for a bitter divorce. Please, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with a news bulletin, let's have our opinion polls. You can follow us on Facebook or on Twitter. But since I'm seeing you physically, dear viewers, give me your opinion. Are you concerned? Is this good news? Is this good news? If your answer is no, you have just commissioned yourself into Ignite. If your answer is yes, by your answer, you have just commissioned yourself into Ignite. Because the Bible is very clear. In our Lord's Prayer we say, thy will be done on earth as it is done in... Did you see heaven? Did you see heaven? Is this how things are done in heaven? If they are done this way in heaven, I don't want to go there. The news that we have just seen. Your will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. In other words, we are marching on our way to heaven. Where is heaven? Your will be done on earth as it is done. Where is heaven then? We are supposed to bring it on earth. But for us, we are waiting for it where? Up. When I got this news, I had an appointment to meet Mr. Mtatina Francis. He should be here. Please stand up for recognition. He's over there. He works with Life Ministry Uganda. We were to meet in Bukoto, but because of time, I told him, let's meet at the bypass. And we met at the bypass. And I said, can you imagine? The homosexuals are raising against the bill to the extent that some countries are cutting aid to Uganda. If the president signs it into law, I said that is disgusting. What do we do to raise enough capital for our ministry? That was my turning point. And we discussed. We were standing along the street. We discussed. We did not close the chapter. I said, Mr. Mtatina, it's coming late. Without city master, the jam is going to be too much. So take your way, I take mine. The question kept in my mind. When I got home, I switched on the TV. The news were still there. I asked my wife, do you think this is the right way that our country, but more especially our church, should be going? I don't think this is the right way. We discussed as well. And I'm telling you, from that day, I watch TV like once or twice in a week, because all the news are sad. By the time I finish watching Uganda's news, I am saddened. Death, children abducted, women killed, women raped. As we speak, we have just recovered a 6-year-old after paying 6 million shillings in Mbarara. Abducted on Thursday, and they asked for a ransom of 6 million. We did not close the chapter with my wife. We agreed to keep, because we didn't seem to have any solution. Then a few weeks later, an invitation comes. You have been invited in Mombasa for Ignite, where they want to show you how to be part of, to give your life to the ministry. I said, okay. My wife, 10 years ago, before I married you, I promised you for honeymoon in Mombasa. 10 years later, it has not materialized. Don't you think God is speaking? I think it has now come to pass. What you do, whatever it takes, let's find the money. Start preparing the bags. And indeed she did. I asked for leave, and we set off. Little did I know that these guys were not after my leisure. These guys had another motive. They wanted more than my leisure. And one speaker spoke, another speaker, I turned to my wife and said, Katindoza, we forget the leisure and now we focus on what? On listening to these guys. They seem to have a solution that we have been looking for. So we listened. We forgot the leisure. Then afterwards, they're like, now you commit your life. Hey, you guys, You commit your seed. Now, immediately with my wife, we agreed, now, Lava, we can afford a $5,000 now. Let's do that and forget. We don't have money. You see, we even took a bus here. We should have flown. We started giving those good excuses. We should, we could have flown, but now you take a bus, now they're asking you for this one. So we said, okay, fine. What can we afford? Okay, $5,000. Here it is, guys, leave us alone. They were not about to do it. We came. When we got here, I said, my wife, David said he was bankrupt, but he committed $1 million. And I looked at her and said, are we bankrupt? She said no. Then if someone can commit from bankruptcy to $1 million and we are not bankrupt, what are you thinking about? So you see, you are the one doing business, you see, but whatever you say, we shall do it. I said, okay, give me more time. We started scratching. Now, $1 million now, where is it going to come from? But I told my wife, we don't have it, but let's take a leap of faith. Can we declare to God, the two of us, that we shall get $1 million for his ministry? She said yes, and by faith we declared it. It was a discussion, it was not a prayer. It was. Then after leaving her, then I went the other side. I said, now God, $1 million, which business really can generate $1 million? That was between me now and which business? I did not seem to have a way forward. But that decision is made. How it will materialize is between me and him. But I am sure if I did, that would not be my effort. I told my wife, if I declared $10,000, I could cash it immediately. If I declared $15,000, I could cash it immediately. If I declared $100,000, I can cash that immediately. That looks to be an effort from me. What is it that can be done? And when I look backward and say, that was not me. If it were me, it would not be possible. That is our turning point. Ladies and gentlemen, when we hear some of these news in Uganda, we get overwhelmed. And most of us want to take a passive role. It is far from me. Let it take place. Others will say, these are mere accidents. Accidents always happen on the road. We try to justify these things. But the Bible is very clear. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly. That's how I take the news. To me, that's how I take the news. That is evil being done on earth, and it is not the way it is being done in. I don't think there is a motor accident in heaven. I don't think there is children abduction in heaven. I don't think there is hunger in heaven. These are spiritual forces that we have to stand against. Where are you? Others may want to take blame games. Christ has promised us and has given us a lot of promises. To the thirsty he says, whoever drinks of this water I give them, they will never thirst again. To the hungry that we saw, what does he say? I am the bread of life. To those that are sick in hospitals, I am the Lord that heals you. And those that are poor, broken-hearted, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and the recovery of the sight for the blind, and to take prisoners free. That is his promise. When I look at these promises and look at what is happening in Uganda, they are worlds apart. Consequently, what is Christ asking us? This message must reach everyone within the borders of our country. But how then can they call on the name of the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? Someone, not reverend, not pastor, someone preaching. Do we all qualify to be someone? Do we all qualify to be someone? That message is to you, not to the reverends here, not to the life ministry staff. Someone must reach to them. Who is that someone? Consequently, the question would be, as someone, what have you done about it? As someone, what have you? Some may say, leave that to life ministry staff. Leave it that to the reverend. Leave it that to canon. Isn't it? After all, they are full-time. Let me go and attend to city master. That only scatters our effort and is to the advantage of what Ephesians warns us against. It is to hit to their advantage. When we say, leave Reverend so-and-so to preach the gospel, while my finances, my influence and leadership and expertise is where? And now it is mine, and for my family, and for, it does not leave this pocket. Isn't it? It stays where? We scatter our effort. But we can do all things through Christ that gives us strength. Then why do we say we don't have time? Why do we keep our leadership? Why do we keep our influence? Why do we keep our finances? And why do we keep our... We have the promise. We can do all things. All. We have everything we need for life and godliness. Did you see life in the news? Why don't we spread this life? Why don't we spread? Begins with me, goes to him, goes to him, goes to him, goes to him. And everyone in Uganda has life. and then we can celebrate. There are key questions. One key question actually. What do you have? What do you have? When Moses answered this question, he led slaves free. When David answered that question very well, he killed a giant. When the disciples answered the question very well, they fed 5,000 with 5 loaves of bread and 2. Okay, some of us will say we don't have. What was 5 loaves and 2 fish to 5,000 people? Can it even feed us here? What do you? When you answer that question very well, the world that we have seen in the news will change. If you don't, we shall keep watching what we have been watching. The Africans are very wise. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. What one step are you taking today, now that you have heard? This 1,000 miles, if you don't take any step, where do you remain? Original position. Isn't it? Your coordinates have not changed. That's what we say in GIS. But the moment you take one step, your coordinates have, and you have moved. That one step is what we are asking for in Ignite. Change the world with one step. Ladies and gentlemen, let's walk together the life journey of 1,000 miles with your one step. Thank you so much.